everybody, welcome to my talk today, writing a nursing personal statement for course funding. And this is part of my nursing career series. It's free to subscribe on my YouTube channel, Support and Career Development for Nurses, with lots more videos coming out in the future. Next week I'll be doing a video on preparing for an interview when you're applying for course funding. So I hope you find them helpful. I know how difficult it is to secure funding, and when I did my master's and my I'm in the middle of a PhD, I spent about a day every year looking for funding opportunities because it's so expensive to self-fund for university modules. So what I'm going to cover, what needs to go in a personal statement with some example narrative, and when you apply for a course, or it could be for funding a project or a service improvement, quality improvement project, some simple tips to prepare and structure that personal statement. I've also in my book, How to Prepare for Interviews and Develop Your Career as a Nurse or Midwife, got lots more example personal statements and questions, and if you can't afford the book, you can get it from the library usually. First tip, allocate time to prepare. So you've got this cost benefit, as I mentioned earlier, allocating one day every year to try and find funding for your master's or your PhD. It has great benefit because it will save you hundreds and hundreds of pounds. You've got to be proactive, and you need to rigorously prepare that personal statement so that it's a strong personal statement, because you will have hundreds, sometimes thousands if it's a national funding stream, applying for funding, and you risk not being shortlisted. So it's a great achievement. Just being shortlisted is a fantastic achievement, and funding is limited, so those opportunities are competitive. You're aiming to set your personal statement apart from others and make it as strong as possible, and that takes time to prepare. And also you can use it as a future template for job applications or for future funding applications. Tip 2. Set your personal statement apart from others. So you've got to cover why you've applied, aligning to the funder values, marketing your knowledge, experiences, skills, choosing key practical examples where you've made an impact in your current or past role, and explaining how this course will benefit you and others. So how are you going to influence future practice? What impact will it have on what your future plans are? And I'll give you lots of tips linked to those three areas. I have a YouTube video, 5 ways to influence nursing practice, and it's got lots of examples right from when you are an early career nurse. You can influence practice through the way you treat students, welcoming students, for example, or helping out at recruitment events. So have a look at the video, because hopefully it will promote some ideas in there that you might think, oh, I should put that in my personal statement. Tip 3, give them what they ask for. Adhere to application guidance and deadlines, or you won't be shortlisted usually. You need to answer any specific questions, thoroughly read the guidance, and if you don't understand quite what they're asking for, ring them up. I've done that before, where I wasn't quite sure, am I able to apply for this with my current qualifications or not? So and usually funders, there'll be a contact email, and it's great to talk to them as well, and they might give you some tips along the way. Include sponsor, line manager supporting statement if they ask for it, and financial budgeting statement. Don't just fill in a financial budgeting statement without having the correct figures. So if you're trying to apply for funding for a quality improvement project, for example, you need to go and talk to, if you work for an NHS trust, you could talk to your finance officers to have the exact right amount of costings in that budgeting statement. Quite a lot of funding opportunities you won't be asked for financial budgeting, because it's just the cost of the course that you'd be looking for. Use the word allocation, so not just a few brief sentences. So if you have 300 words in the application for your supporting statement, then try and use as much as possible, so 280, 290, rather than just 100 words. Always proofread, so no spelling or grammatical errors, and get other people to proofread for you. And doing your preparation beforehand will help you to keep your structuring concise, and I'll give you some more tips to do that as well. Tip 4, do your background research. Firstly, I'd be looking in, you can do it quite methodically, looking into the funding institution, what are their values, go on their web pages, what are you actually applying for? And I've known quite a few people that have gone for post-registration specialist courses, and because they've been there in the area quite a long time, they just thought they'd get a course place, but they didn't look into what the modules were about, what the assessments were, what the content was. So, and they didn't put that effort in, and they didn't get the funding. So you need to know what you're applying for, because quite often it's a lot of money and you have to have put that effort in. So don't presume that you're going to have a course place. If you're applying externally, or you're asking for a course that isn't already sort of set up in your area, so it's not a post-registration specialist course that's in the area, there might be 10 places every year. If it's like, say, a neuroscience course, and you want to do a post-registration diploma in education, your manager will want to know the costings, want to know what days it runs, what the name of it is there of the course, is what universities there it's available in, is it cheaper in a different university, that gives them a bit of flexibility. So it's very helpful to look into all of that. Speak to relevant university staff, local education staff, review websites and local national information, and summarise key areas from your background research, as it may help to inform your personal statement later. Tip 5, align practical examples. This is very important. Choose your best examples that demonstrate the impact that you have made relating to key areas, and you can try and theme them to the funding opportunity you're applying for. So if you're applying for research funding for research modules, you're aligning it towards research skills. If you're applying for a leadership course, you're looking at some leadership examples. And improving quality care, evidence-based standards might link to a charity if you're applying for an external charity for funding. Collaborative team working is great, staff patient education and leadership. So having a look, reflecting back on your past experiences is very important, and try and remember to add the so what. So in personal generic examples, over the last 3 years I've been developing my leadership skills. So what have you done? What specific ways have you developed those leadership skills? Or if it's to do with increasing your competence in an area, in a specialism, or to do with your research, it's that so what, that bit more detail with personal specific examples. So some examples that show outcome, some example narrative. Over the last 3 years, I have worked as a link nurse. That entails, and you can give a bit detail, but then there is the so what. What skills did you develop? What did you achieve? How does this relate to the funding course you're applying for? What impact did you have in your role? What were the outcomes? Another example, since qualifying as a registered nurse, I've developed a passion for supporting and educating new starters and students in my local area. So what? So now they're going to give a bit more detail. I work closely with our clinical nurse educators and welcome all new starters to the area. That's fantastic. What impact have you had? A recent clinical learning environment audit, and then you could give the results, or you could talk through new starter questionnaires demonstrated or showed that. It could be evaluative feedback that demonstrates impact, thank you cards from new starters, or from patients if it's a patient example. And that's the difference really from a stronger personal statement, or if you're answering questions at interview, always think about the so what, the impact, the outcome and the evaluation to make it a stronger answer. So some practical examples: local national work streams linked to policy development. You might have joined Royal College of Nursing or Unison national groups linked to leadership policy development. You may link to a local discharge group or documentation group, evidence, electronic patient record, digital health. It could be anything that you're interested in. Initiatives where you've influenced change or service improvement projects that you've collaborated with or led. Academic achievements that link to the role that you're applying for, to the course, that you're applying for. Could be work-based learning projects, dissertation, publications and presentations in the past as a student that really closely align to what you're applying for and that can demonstrate key achievements and skills. Acting as a link nurse, developing evidence-based care plans, supporting clinical governance groups to promote standards of care, educating, supporting, inspiring others, speaking at recruitment events or on teaching programs, as I said earlier, supporting new starters, students, trainee nursing associates, healthcare assistants. Some more practical examples. I've got 2 videos, the 4 pillars of advanced practice, and then quality improvement and service improvement projects for nurses, which are good just to try and get you to think about some ideas and some areas that you may want to develop in the future. And then tip 6, finally, plan your structure. So you can see most of the work's done beforehand with really reflecting on your past examples and looking into some background reading. Introduction, main body, concluding paragraph, or you might have more defined structures. You might want to write it in one big piece. It's however you write, and it's your personal statement. But if you haven't got any ideas, an example structure could be paragraph 1, 2. Try and catch the reader's attention with a concise overview of past experiences and academic achievements, your core values, why you aspire to this course. You might want to acknowledge and align to the funder's values to start, and how this course funding opportunity would benefit you and others. The main body, you might want one main body, or you might want to have different paragraphs, but you're really aligning the key practical examples to highlight your key achievements and where you've made an impact, trying to align to the funding opportunity that you're applying for and that institution. And then the final paragraph might end on a positive future academic, professional or career ambition. How does this funding opportunity link to your future career development? What do you hope to achieve, learn that will inform or benefit others? And I have videos in my nursing career series on how to become a nurse educator, how to become a nurse researcher, how to become an advanced nurse practitioner or a charge nurse or senior nurse. So looking at those videos may help you reflect on where you're going in your career or what areas you would prefer. And you don't have to have a definitive answer. You can be honest and authentic and say that you're not quite sure, but this course is going to help me develop key skills that will enable me to decide between education or you might link it to the 4 pillars of advanced nursing practice, which are a thread through all careers. So do check those videos. So in summary, allocate time to prepare and adhere to the guidance. Do your background preparation and research, and I've given you a methodical way to look through that. Then plan your content and structure to align with the application guidance. And then choose practical examples that demonstrate your achievements, but make sure you include impact, outcome and evaluation. And that will also help you in an interview as well. So keep those notes for your interview prep as well. So I hope you found this talk helpful. Do put comments, add a like in the YouTube comments, and I will answer all questions. If you want to contact me one-to-one privately, you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram or on my website as well. And good luck with your applications. I really hope you get shortlisted, and good luck with interviews if you're shortlisted.